Now let's take you to the journey. So this is where I was raised. This is where my family, my entire family lived when I was growing up here in Dehradun, maybe around you. And these were really good times, okay? These were the times when I was actually borrowing somebody's scooter, stealing amrud from my neighbor's house, and also really trying out the best bun tikki in the town. Momos is a new thing. Pehle bun tikki hoti thi. So at this point of time, I was actually not a great scholar. I was not really good at studies, but I was dreaming. I was dreaming all throughout when I was here. So my father actually moved from one job to the other and from one business to the other, and none of them seemed to work at that point in time. So my mom actually started her boutique in that very room. So there were a lot of us now. So there was me, my brother, my father, my mom, and then we had a tailor sitting right over there. And this is what we did. These were really tough times. When I say tough times, it was tough to actually pay for the school fees at that point of time. It was really tough to imagine a birthday party which would be for me. This was really small house, but I had a lot of dreams, and this house was big enough for my dreams. So there were things that I could not do because you have a certain skill level. So one thing which I could not do is I could not really score that well. I was not your scholar. So becoming a doctor or an engineer was not an option. What I actually could do is I was super hard-working person. So at a very, very early age, I started working with my mom. I joined her boutique. I was only in class 8th, and I remember I would take a bus from here, from Dehradun, go to Saharanpur, buy the cloth for her boutique, come back and sell it. This was a time when people were studying, doing other things, and I was working. I was already working while I was going to the school. I was also very smart in cracking deals as well. So one of the things, when I was growing up, I used to have Dracula teeth, okay? And they definitely had to go. And there was no money to like go to a proper dentist or something. So I found this shiver, and I think it was not, I would not advise people to go to such places because you never know what could happen. And I went there and they said, it's 1 rupee mein hum ek daant nikal denge. I said, dono nikal do, 2 rupees aapke. So this is the kind of person I was. Right after class 12th, where a lot of people are trying to be like, this is what we want to do, this is the college that we want to go to, there's so many things that we want to achieve. I was like, first job, mujhe employ kar lo. This is the first thing I want to do. And the only place which would employ a 12th pass was a call center. So I was like, chalo, let's go. So when I actually gave my interviews for the BPO, at that point of time, they were offering me 5,000 rupees. Now 5,000 rupees seemed like a whole lot of money to me. I'm like, Bas Avantika, ab to like you're going to be rich. You have arrived, you're going to go to Delhi and earn so much money and send a whole lot of money home as well. But I did not know how expensive it is to live in a city like Delhi. It is very expensive. You pay for everything. You pay for the rent, you pay for the food, you pay for transport, no, because I worked with a call center, guys. But there were so many expenses, and I did not know what to do. So I actually started to become more sad instead of being happy with all that money. I was not able to send that money that I promised myself that I would. And the next thing I did, I am not so proud of it, because I was like, paise bach nahi rahe, what am I doing? So I actually started to skip meals in order to save money. And this is what I did. Having said that, that was not leading anywhere. And I came to my second dream. Now, to be Miss India is a huge thing, right? So what happens is that when you are actually going for, like even if you want to crack Miss India, you have to have a certain level of, let's say, grooming or access and all these things. And I didn't have all of that. I was actually quite a tomboy if you come to think of it. At that point of time, I looked like this. Can you spot me? I'm the tallest one. So then Miss Uttarakhand was announced, and state's first Miss Uttarakhand was announced. And I was like, okay, all my life I have had a social conditioning where people have told me that, you know, you look a certain way, you're so tall, you're pretty, you all of that. And I got to my head and I was like, I am getting this. This is me. But when I got there, they looked at me and they looked at me as if I wear pants, not my pants, my father's pants. I ride a broken scooter. I was not to their level as well. But in my head, I was like, if I will be able to achieve the best person to be in Uttarakhand, I will arrive, and the next step is coming over my way. Do you know this dialogue when Kareena Kapoor says in Jab We Met, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ? That's written for me. मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. So कोई माने ना माने, कोई देखे ना देखे, in my head I was the best, and God knows that's why I won the first Miss Uttarakhand title. And yeah. Thank you guys. So what Miss Uttarakhand gave me, so you know, it's a state level contest, so it doesn't, like, they don't give you money up front, but it kind of makes you a celebrity. It kind of makes you a mini celebrity of your own town. So wherever I went, people started to recognize me. Fabulous. I also got money to, like, cut ribbons, and sometimes 5,000 rupees just to cut ribbon. And the other times when I had to work the entire month, it was no longer the case. I got some easy money. But there was something, you know, that it did not give me. Now, look at how my graph has been. I've been trying from one thing to the other, and all I have craved for is just stability. I really, really wanted stability. I did not want to wait for another month when somebody would think I'm a celebrity, and the next month, maybe they do not need me. And there was going to be another Miss Uttarakhand, so I was not going to be the celebrity anymore, right? So I had to get a job. The other thing that it did not give me, those of you know that Miss India actually has a round for swimwear, right? So my brother did not allow me to actually go for this, and he said, no, it's not okay, we won't allow you, etc., etc. Maybe he's listening and he'll be like, why are you talking about me? Now, to be a flight attendant. Now, very interestingly, when I was growing up, I did not know you call it flight attendant. I thought it's called air hostess, like most of the people knew. So why did I want to be a flight attendant? It's a very funny story. So when I was younger and I had the opportunity to be on the flight, one auntie came and she had a tray with the sweets. Okay, so as a good child, she's offering me a tray of sweets and I'm supposed to pick just one because this is what my parents have taught me. In my heart, I just saw that auntie disappear behind the curtains with the entire tray, and I was like, yahi, mujhe ye auntie banna hai. And that's it. That's all the reason for me to become a flight attendant. There's literally no reason. I started my first airline work with Indigo, and then I quickly moved on to the other airline. A lot of you must have heard it. It's called Emirates. And do you see I'm still wearing pants? So this was also a part of the uniform. So one of the things that, you know, it was my true love for this job that I found. Because finally I had the stability that I was looking for. It was finally, like, I was able to wear a uniform which was really something that made me so proud. I cannot tell you guys. When I looked at myself, when I got ready at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever rubbish time I landed at the airport, I felt so good and it was great. So the first thing I did was, after completing 6 months at my workspace, I took a loan. I was only 22. I took a loan and I got a house for my parents. Because you know what they deserved? My mom deserved a kitchen which was more than a table. My father deserved a place which was not so difficult to sleep in when it was raining. So this was my first thing. I was 22. I got a house for my parents. If you see this is my parents. What are the great things for it? So who I was as a flight attendant? You can see I'm a very talkative person. So one of the things that comes super naturally to me is talking to people, being warm to people. And as a flight attendant, I was the most genuine flight attendant. If you have come on my plane, there is no way you have missed it, because I would come to you and I would talk to you and I ask you, and this would be for the entire plane. And this was who I was. I really enjoyed what I did. Also, I had the opportunity to explore different things. I was really in love with my job. And I became a little, let's say, a person who could say sentences like, I only eat pizza in Milan. I only buy Zara from Spain. And Michael Kors only from New York. These are only things that you say like when you're really traveled and you're traveling from one place to the other. So yeah. You know what happens when you join Emirates? What happens is that like I came from nothing, right? And when you join Emirates, you get access to everything. You suddenly, they give you a house and they're like, this is your furnished house. Now we're going to pay all your rent is free, living is free, there is no electricity bill, and you go to different countries and they give you money to spend over there. So I was like, that's it, I have arrived. And you can see a picture of me in the bikini over there. We try to keep it subtle. I actually became a person who could wear a bikini to different places, and I was Miss India over there. So even though I did not get a chance to be Miss India because of that reason, I was able to live that dream in different countries and go to different places as well. I also became an Instagram person. Do you know what is Instagram person or an Instagrammer? A lot of you already know about it. So it's not like I thought I'll become this, and I just started sharing a lot of my travel pictures, the pictures of my clothes, of the different things I was doing, and I gained audience and people were just kind. So that's what happened. I really, really wanted to do this forever because this was it. This is, my life was set, everything was good, I had a house, everything was good. But COVID happened. And overnight, I came back from a flight and everything was like, okay, COVID is here, people are losing jobs around the globe. But I had already passed the first phase of COVID. I still survived that phase and I was flying. I came back from a flight and in one middle of the night, I checked my email, very unlikely me. I opened this email and it stopped my heartbeat. I cannot tell you, even today when I think of that incident, my heart stops for 2 seconds because I lost the most amazing thing which I absolutely loved in my life. My job was gone. For 15 years, I was doing this day in, day out as a fabulous flight attendant, and suddenly I was no longer a flight attendant. The place where I was actually trained to be a flight attendant, they called me the next day and they're like, here, thank you very much for your services, goodbye. This is a heartbreaking feeling. I was already 35. This was the time when, I actually thought this is what I'm going to do for all my life, and it had stopped. I lived right next to the airport. I could hear the airplane. All I had to do is put a headset, cry myself out, and think, what have I done wrong to do this? It's not like I'm going to blame Emirates because they gave me everything that I have today. They have actually given access to me like nothing else. But that's it. The dream got over. This is something that I found on the internet. So overnight, imagine if the flight has crashed on the water and you're the only survivor, and it's sea and it's cold. What do you do? I blame myself. I started to blame myself for, I do not know, a million things, even though it was not my mistake that COVID happened, it was not my mistake that the airline had changed their strategy, it's not my mistake that people have stopped flying. But this is what I felt. Until one day. Now, you know what happened? When I lost my job, people were not hiring at that time. This is peak 2020. I was unhireable. पढ़ाई तो मैंने करी नहीं थी. तो कौन ही लेता मुझे? So at that time I started applying for jobs. नहीं आ रहा था कहीं से भी answer. So I was a regular shopper at Zara. So this guy told me there's a job and you can come and hang clothes and you'll get X amount of money. And I was like, जब तक the next thing doesn't come, let me just do this. And I'm not afraid of doing anything. Okay, so I was crossing the road with my resume. This is when I get a call, and this guy, he called me. He's my passenger, and this guy is a big guy, okay? So I live in Dubai, and he's one of the people who features in Forbes. So huge guy. So he's called me and he's like, can you please review our restaurant? And I was like, do you not have anybody do this on your behalf? Like, I'm pretty sure like all of you have some or the other person, and this is high level guy. And he said, no. I said, I can help you. I can help you with your restaurant. I opened the page of the restaurant, and I'll show you what the restaurant looked like. It's called Tifi Cafe. Okay, so this place is in Karama. Those of you are familiar with Dubai, very average place where most middle class people live. And the rating of this restaurant was 2.7. I was like, I have to help this guy. Let me see what I can do. But the thing is, I did not know what to do. I just told him I'll help you out. So I started making calls and I asked people, please tell me, how do you pitch for, like, if like let's say I'm pitching for a cafe, what is the pitch? How do you make a presentation? I did not know. But I've done an okay job. I'm just going up and down a little bit. But this was done by me. I did not know how to make an Excel as well. I did not have any of those skills. But I said, I'll learn. Give me 2 days, I'll come and pitch you. So I went to this guy, pitched him, tuck. And I think maybe not my skill, but my honesty. This guy, he believed in me and he's like, you can have this business for 1 month. I said, okay, let me do this for 1 month. So what am I going to do with this place, which I have no idea about how it runs, I have no experience, I'm 35, all of that, blah, blah, blah. And I landed at this place. Do you see all those hands? Yeah? Do you see hands over there, along with the food pictures? So these pictures actually clicked by me. So what we started to do is, we started their social media strategy and their planning as well. One of the hands is my husband's. Those of you know, Durjoy Datta. He's Tifi Cafe's, he's holding a cup over there. And I would call on my family, Aja, I'll give you free chicken, please come. And I'll take pictures of you guys. This is what I started to do. The next thing I had to do is, I stood there for hours. Because this was not it. People are not coming to a restaurant looking at the pictures of people in their hands and the food, etc. They are going there for an experience. And I saw that it lacked an experience. So I, in my head, treated it like an airplane, like an A380, which is the biggest airplane. I was like, this is my 380, these are my passengers, I'm going to treat it like this. So people, when they said, this restaurant is not clean, I had a wiper in my hand and I would clean it. When they said the food is not coming on time, I went to the kitchen and I came and served with the waiters. I changed the restaurant. It came to 4.4 in 3 months, and it was my first business and it was successful. Thank you guys, you are very, very kind. So now my agency, I formed an agency finally. And I named it after my daughter. She's 5 years old and her name is Raina. And this is what we do. We do take care of social media pages, we make content, we also do advertisements, we launch movies in Dubai, we do all of that. And one of the biggest things I did was I launched worldwide premiere of Vikram Veda when it was launched. So it is grand. The next thing I want to do is I want to launch Pathaan, but this is just for myself, like I'm just telling myself, ho jayega, because I'm a huge Shah Rukh fan. So that. There is a word called evolve. Okay. Now when you look at the dictionary, if you open the dictionary, it would say evolve means to become a better version of yourself. And I had 3 dreams. All 3 of them were snatched away from me. One after the other and to the other. But I had some core values. You know what I really had? I had a belief in myself. I had confidence that मैं कर लूँगी. I also had this place where I was like, if my confidence doesn't work, if my skill doesn't work, I'll work bloody hard and I will get there. And this is what has led me from one thing to the other. So instead of getting upset that God is not planning what I have a plan for me, it's going with the flow and just believing in yourself and doing the right thing. That's all, you guys. Thank you for listening to all I have to say.